Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. My name is Robin and this is Knotting Hook Crochet. And today I just wanted to share my other Graphghan that I just made. I still have a few ends to work in, but yeah, it's okay. So just to let you know up front, if you don't like cats, this one's not for you. But if you like cats or you know someone who likes cats, this is a great, quick and easy throw. I mean, because it's not huge. It's about 43 inches wide and 48 inches long. So it's a smaller blanket than the horse Graphghan that I did. That one was pretty big. So this one, I don't have a member of my family that doesn't like cats. And especially my youngest, Jenna, she loves them. And, you know, she has her cat that we gave her for Christmas when she was like 10 years old. And she's 18 now. And she's going to graduate here next month, May, June, in June. Her school gets out in June. She is already dual enrolled into college. She's a great kid. She's doing great. You couldn't ask for a better kid than her. So she is a definite cat lover. Any kind of animal. And so I kind of did this one in her honor. So I did write a pattern for it, and that pattern is available in my Etsy, and that link will be down below. But let me show you this cat. It is so cute. And then, well, before I show you, I have to tell you, I watched this one channel that, oh gosh, I want to say the name was Crochet Cat Graphghans. And they haven't posted in like a year or two. So hopefully, you know, that person's okay, because it was definitely an older woman. And she was doing this stitch where if you have to do a straight line, instead of having those little like puzzle pieces looking stitches that you get when you do a Graphghan, she was doing it where the line was straight. And if you were doing an angle, it was coming out nice and smooth instead of looking like, you know, jagged steps. And I thought, oh, I'm going to try that. Well, I did. And I didn't do too hot with it. I mean, it doesn't look horrible, but she used a extended single crochet, and I was just using a single crochet, so that might be the difference in it. I mean, my line is straighter, but it didn't look like hers did. So definitely take some practice. Now, she did say you got to have your tension right, so I don't know. But anyways, so it's a 4-color blanket, 2 colors for the background. Well, actually a background and a foreground. And then the cat is 2 colors. And it was funny because when I was trying to pick the colors to do the cat, I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen a brown cat before, other than like, you know, in a Siamese cat. And I'm like, do they make brown cats? Have you ever seen a brown cat? There's black, there's white, there's gray, there's orange. You get like Jenna's cat Whiskers, you know, I don't know what they call them, but he's got those little stripes, but like a lot of gray in it. It's like, are there brown cats? Have you ever seen one? Anyhow, so I didn't choose brown. So I did the cat in black and white. So he's kind of a tuxedo cat. And I wanted a light gray for the background and a slightly darker gray for the foreground. But I didn't have it. I only had one color of gray, and I did not want to purchase more yarn. And that's I was talking about this with one of the subscribers. You know, you have this huge yarn stash, but you never have what you need, so you end up having to go buy more yarn anyways. So I think I am going to like not keep a lot of yarn on hand anymore, because it happens to me every time. When there's a project that I want to do, I don't have the right stuff. I end up having to buy more. And then if I have to order it online, I have this thing where, oh, I can't just order one or two, you know. Oh, I want to get the free shipping, so then I spend all this extra money to get the free shipping, and then I have a whole bunch of yarn that nothing matches, and yeah. So we're not going to do that anymore. At least we're going to try not to do that anymore. I can't like swear to it, but that's the goal, is to not have this huge backstock, huge stash of yarn. So, well, anyways, here's the blanket. It's not as, like I said, it's not as big as the horse blanket, but it's still kind of large and hard to get into view, so I will insert a picture. But if you can see, the cat is peeking around the wall. So he's like a peekaboo kitty. And that's what I named the pattern, Peekaboo Kitty. Hopefully you can see that. So I still have a few ends to work in back here. He looks like he's got hair growing. And then I need to do a little bit of blocking. Now, it's not, whoops, it's not too bad. I stayed pretty consistent with my tension. So the blocking is very minor. Very minor. Just, I got to work in those few ends back there. And call this one finished. Like I said, this one's a little bit smaller. It could be like just a lap throw, or, you know, a child's blanket, because it's smaller. And if you wanted to make it longer, I think it's plenty wide enough. But if you wanted to make it longer, you just keep repeating the last 2 rows. It's just the 2 colors and 1 color change per row. So it's pretty easy just to keep repeating that row till you get it to the length that you want. But you know, like I said, the pattern, if you're interested, is available in my Etsy shop, and I'll put that link down below. And I need your opinion on something. My next project that I want to do for a tutorial, I want to use this eggplant. I think it's just a gorgeous color. And I Googled what colors go with eggplant. And it came up with mustard yellow, light gray, and white. Well, for what I want to make, I don't think the light gray would be proper, I guess, for lack of a better word. It wouldn't look right with the light gray. So I do have the mustard, and I think those two look pretty good together. But then I was thinking, instead of the white or light gray, because white would be a real stark contrast, I have this tweed. And I think it looks all right together. It's got little flecks like, oh, I don't know, it kind of looks close to the mustard color in it. And it is, says it's a cream tweed. But, it, you know, it's got those little flecks in it. And it doesn't seem like it would be such a stark contrast. So what do you think? Because I don't want to, it's a lot of work to do the tutorials, and I don't want to start it, waste my yarn, and then I'm not happy with my project. So I need help with that third color. I have to have 3 colors, and I like the eggplant and I like the mustard, but that third kind of neutral light tone. So I have the tweed, or I have the white, which, you know, like I said, I think is a little stark, or there's the light gray, which I'm not thrilled with the light gray. So I really, I don't know, maybe if it was lighter, because it just, I mean, it says it's light gray, but technically it said to use these 4 colors together, but I only need 3. And I kind of like the tweed the best, but my last color pick on this same project was, they looked good sitting like this, but when it was worked up, it didn't look that well together. So help me out here. What should I pick? Should I go with the tweed, the light gray, or the white? And I guess it would help if I tell you what the project is. The project is a poncho, but it is a vintage poncho. Kind of vintage, it's not that old, but it's not your ordinary type of poncho. You just don't, it's a little bit different. And I really like the pattern, but I didn't like my color choices last time. So I need your help. And then it's not that often that I get to make something for myself. And after making that 1916 capelet, I'm like, I really, and I've talked about this, or not really talked about it, but mentioned it back and forth with another crocheting YouTuber, and she also wants to start making wearables. Now, I don't know if she meant with her sewing, because she's getting into sewing, or if she meant with her crocheting, but I've never had much success making a wearable that fits me. 1, because I am not as thin as I used to be. 2, because I'm getting older and I'm not sure if that style really looks right on me. And yeah, I've just never been able to make it fit right. So I was checking out a bunch of other channels that are pretty popular and seem to know what they're talking about with, you know, making the yoke and how to get it into a shirt, rather than just doing 2 rectangle patterns and stitching it together at the shoulder and calling it a shirt. So I went to one very popular channel, and I did one of their older videos, and it was making a sweater shirt with a circular yoke. So they give you how many stitches to start with. They tell you how many rows and how to do the increases, and then how many rows to do before you start connecting it to, you know, make the armholes and things like that. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching 2012 was on Sci-Fi Channel. So I'm watching that and I'm not really paying attention, and I did 1 row more than I was supposed to. So like I was supposed to do 5 rows, I did 6. And I'm like, that won't make that big of a difference. So I just let it go and did the suggested number of stitches for the underarms. And I got about 4 rows after that. Go to put it on. Now this was supposed to be for like a 1X to a 2X. And the whole thing, like the collar part could go over to this other shoulder. Now I use the same size hook. And they were using an acrylic yarn, I was using cotton. But the neckline came over, it could come over to my shoulder. And the underarm part, even with me adding that extra row, it like cut right in, right, I'm like, no way. That would be so uncomfortable. So I pulled it all out. I said, nope, we're not doing this. And I was into it, 2 skeins of yarn into it. So I pulled it all out and I did another search and found one where they do more of a square rectangle. And they're not telling you how many stitches to use or how many rows to do. They tell you how to figure it out yourself. And I'm like, this is what I need. So you take a shirt that you like how it fits you and lay it flat. And then from the back side of the shirt, you measure the opening in the neck. So my particular shirt was like 9 inches. And then you need to figure out how many double crochets will fit within that 9 inches so that you know how many stitches go on that back, on the back of the part of the sweater. So for me, with the yarn I was using and the hook I'm using, it was 30 stitches. I thought, wow, that's a lot. But whatever. And then the front part, depending on if you want it to open or not, would be the same as the back. If it's got an opening, you'd take like a stitch or 2 off of each side. So you're drawing a diagram. So you draw a diagram like that and write in your number of stitches. So down here, it would be, each side would be half of your top number. And then you deduct 1 or 2 from each side. So I did 1 and 1. So now you have your shoulder part is you take this number from one of the sides and add half of that. So 14, and then half of 14 is 7, so it's 21 on each side. And then add 1 for each of your corners. So that's 30 and 28 is 58 and 42 and 4, because it's 1 for each corner. 14. So that's 104. That's how many stitches that I would need to do the neckline, which I'm like, gosh, that seems like a lot. But it worked out. And then, let's see. Now this is where I'm at so far. This is the back part. And the front has an opening. So as you do, I can't hold it up here. As you do this, you just keep doing your rows and you're increasing in the corner spaces. And you measure it back to your shirt to see when you're getting to the, like the underarm part on the shirt. And then put it on yourself and see, like, does it connect under the arm or do you need to add stitches? Well, mine connected, but I was like, I'd like a little bit more movement. So I put like 4, I chained 4 on each side so I could add those extra stitches. So that is me reworking it. And I'm into my 3rd skein, but I bought this yarn a long time ago, last year sometime, with the intent of making something else, and I never did it. And I'm like, here we go with that whole yarn thing. I have all this yarn and it won't fit for any project. Plus, then I had changed my mind on what I was going to do with that yarn. So the last time when Hobby Lobby was having one of their sales, I don't know, a month or so ago, I picked up some more of that same variegated color. Because, again, I had something else in mind for it, but I knew what I had on hand wasn't enough. And then I decided, nope, not going to do it. So I'm using it. I am making it into this little sweater top, and I wanted to use cotton so that it could be not so hot. I don't want to put it on and make myself sweat. But that is what I'm working on. Until I get some help with picking my color, which one I should use. I'm leaning towards the tweed, but I need people to tell me I'm right. Or I'm wrong, whichever. So, wow. So I've been trying to keep myself busy. Today is the first day I've had the house to myself in over a week. It is wonderful. It's so quiet. Nobody coming in and bugging me. It's great. John's at work, Jenna's at school, and I have the house to myself till about 2:30ish. And I'm loving it. So if you want to see what got me interested into making this sweater top, it was my capelet video from 1916. I will put that link right over here, and we will either see you there or we will see you in the next video.